Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the processional march.
With the placement of the mace, this opens the 17th commencement of the Uniformed Services University of the Health Sciences.
Good morning, honored guests, members of the Board of Regents, faculty, staff, students, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the commencement ceremony of the Uniformed Services University of the Health Sciences class of 1996. Will you please remain standing for the presentation of the colors by the Joint Armed Forces Color Guard, and remain standing for the playing of the national anthem by the President's own, the United States Marine Band, under the direction of Captain Dennis Burahan. Please feel free to join and to sing in the national anthem. Advance the colors. Retire the colors. The invocation will be delivered by the university's chaplain, Commander Lorenzo C. York, United States Navy.
Our nation is grieving the loss of our Chief of Naval Operations, Admiral Jeremy Mike Porter. I invite all of you to join me in a moment of silence in recognition of a sailor, a patriot, one of the best that America has ever produced. Let us silently pray for his family and for the memory of him. Amen. Yahweh, Allah, Adonai, Holy Power, Higher Power, Great Spirit, Jesus, Lord God. We're a diverse people and we call God by many names. But God knows us, and He knows us through our experience. Let us lift our hearts to Him in prayer now. Oh God, we have experienced You and You have experienced us. We've called on Your holy name in so many different times. We call on Your holy name in this hour, and we pray Your choicest blessings upon those who are receiving degrees this morning. Oh God, You indeed have experienced us. For many of these honorees this morning, even while they were being formed in their mother's wombs, we've called on Your holy name to bless them. Surely, oh God, You know us as one who's called on Your holy name to bring into existence the Uniformed Services University of the Health Sciences. Lord, we recall and we express appreciation for how You indeed have called into being the Uniformed Services University. We thank You, O God, for the opportunity that this class had yesterday to recognize one of Your daughters, Anita Newcomb McGee, a visionary leader, a superb Army medical officer, a founder of the Army Nurse Corps, and really a precursor of the dream of Edward Hebert's dream for the Uniformed Services University to be a reality. We thank You, O God, for the opportunity to praise Your holy name. But we praise and thank You for all things, for life, for health, for strength, and for the joy of this day, which is the fulfillment of many dreams. And this is why this class chose to render Thanksgiving service at Walter Reed's Memorial Chapel last evening. And this morning, O God, at this commencement, we invoke Your holy name because we continue to look to You for inspiration, solace, affirmation, and direction. Hear our prayer, O God, for we pray in Your powerful and strong name. Amen.
Our Master of Ceremony today is Dr. Michael Sheridan, Associate Dean, Graduate Education.
Please be seated. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Armed Forces Color Guard and the President's Own, the United States Marine Band. Today's ceremony is a formal recognition of personal achievement. In addition to our student graduates, the university will honor a number of individuals who, through their personal accomplishments, have contributed significantly to medicine and education in America. These awards are described in detail in your program. Ladies and gentlemen, I now present Dr. James A. Zimble, President, Uniformed Services University of the Health Sciences. Dr. Zimble.
Welcome, members of the F. Edward A. Baer School of Medicine and the Graduate School of Nurses, classes of 1996. This is a good chance for you to give us a little cheer. We welcome members of Congress, distinguished guests, flag and general officers, faculty, families, and friends. I have the distinct privilege today to introduce our guest speaker. Dr. Robert J.T. Joy received a Bachelor of Science degree from the University of Rhode Island in 1950 and a medical degree from Yale University in 1954, a Master's of Arts from Harvard University in 1965, and is a graduate of the Armed Forces Staff College in 1968. He was trained in internal medicine at Walter Reed General Hospital and held a research fellowship at the Walter Reed Army Institute of Research. Dr. Joy is professor and chair, section of medical history, and was the first commandant of the university. Throughout Dr. Joy's career, more than 40 years of dedicated service to this great nation, his contagious enthusiasm, his wit and wisdom, and superb knowledge of and unbridled passion for medicine, especially military medicine, have made him a singular standout and revered professor among students and peers. Dr. Joy has earned and received the highest level of love and respect from our graduating class. The students of the class of 1996 unanimously agree that the bridge Dr. Joy built for them between experience and the unknown has set them on a path of leadership for their profession and their communities. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Joy.
Members of the Board of Regents, President Zimbo, Dean Hemming, Dean Abdallah, honored and distinguished guests, and those who will receive honorary degrees, and Mr. Secretary, we're delighted to have you with us. General Anderson, other distinguished flag and general officers, the federal nursing chiefs, colleagues on the faculty with whom I have usually agreed, families of the graduates, friends of the university, and most important of all, ladies and gentlemen of the class of 1996. You made it. But everyone made it. Your spouses, your families, your friends, the people who supported you in your struggle to master your discipline. Now, I am full well aware that I am the last obstacle between you and your degrees. So I will not hold you long, and I will very soon get out of your way. Let me record very clearly my appreciation to the graduates of the Hebert School of Medicine for asking for one last history lecture. Although I think you wanted to see if I could do it without slides. Don't let those screens fool you. No slides. More seriously, well, you can always come back next year. They're the same lectures. More seriously, you will soon be graduates of the only medical school in this country that requires a very stiff, regular, standard medical curriculum, but in addition, allowed you to sleep on the ground, qualify with your weapons, master protection against chemical agent simulators, hold classes at Quantico and Camp Bullis outdoors in the rain, cold, and snow, and eat MRE field rations. Now, what more could you ask for? Now, today you will take two oaths, Hippocratic oath to the practice of medicine, and one to your country for your commissioning. Let me say a few words about that practice of medicine. Very soon you'll be interns. You'll be back at the bottom of the pecking order again. You will have a knot in your stomach and you will be scared. And that is very good because it will encourage prudence and caution, which is always valued in medicine. You will have feelings in that first month or two, I am not ready for this. Well, you are ready for it. You have been well educated and well trained. You are even ready to wear a long white coat. You are ready to write orders that do not have to be countersigned, and you are ready to independently manage your patients. Although I will tell you frankly, the resident and attendings will be very subtly watching over you, fostering your independence, but also ensuring that you do no damage. Now, if you thought school was tough, the hard part now begins. You will have the heavy responsibility of holding the lives of other people in your hands. You will study forever, and you know you cannot learn it all. You will teach your junior colleagues in return for you having been taught. You will not succeed with every patient, happily very few, but they will teach you because those are the patients you will never forget. The one certain future for you, future for you all, is that the future is uncertain. Medicine and science are no longer as predictable as once they seemed to be when I left medical school more years ago than I'm going to confess. For example, no one knows what will happen at the intersection of genetic research and managed medical care. The only certainty you have is the certainty of change, that you will affect that change and be affected by it. Now, given all this, what does remain is forever true and rock bottom in medicine. How should you practice? Well, 70 years ago, Francis Peabody, professor of medicine at Harvard, published an essay on the care of the patient. In part, this is what he wrote. With the exception of family or ministry, there is no human bond closer than that between patient and physician. The practice of medicine is an intensely personal affair. He worried about the introduction of business methods and managerial efficiency to patient care. He warned, as he put it, against the indiscriminate application of laboratory examinations because he saw them as a substitute for thoughtful clinical examination. He demanded recognition of the basic fact. It is not only the disease, but the man or woman who needs to be treated. He insisted that the practitioner learn and attend to the patient's family and occupational and social history. As he put it, one of the essential qualities of the clinician is an interest in humanity. For be very certain that however routine a clinical problem may be to you, no problem is ever routine to the patient. And Dr. Peabody summed this all up with a sentence. The secret of the care of the patient is in caring for the patient. And when there is success from your surgery, or your cure or palliation of disease, or you've taken a patient a safe passage through anesthesia, if you and your patient learn to know each other as human beings, then you can receive the best reward this side of heaven. When a patient says to you simply, "Thank you for looking after me." And there is the reward for caring for the patient. Now let me turn to your commissioning oath while the carousel is being changed. That's a family joke. That oath deals with leadership and followership. Its principles apply to every graduate of this university, whether you're taking your degree in medicine or nursing, preventive medicine, public health, or science. No matter where you are, hospital or laboratories, ships or airfields, with troops or in migrant camps, the principles of leadership apply. Now, you have all been trained to lead, no matter what your job or assignment, no matter whether you have uniforms or civilian clothes under your robes today. Your leadership will be needed by your country, whether for war, peacekeeping, humanitarian missions, or research. For I remind you that the world is no safe place. I would ask you to consider the recent history of armed conflicts in which we put our citizens in harm's way. Grenada, Panama, the Persian Gulf, Desert Shield, Desert Storm, Somalia. Or pick up your paper and think of our presence in peacekeeping and humanitarian support in Kurdistan, and Haiti and Guantanamo, Bosnia, the Adriatic area this morning. Consider the border marchers that our country has agreed to patrol for the world. Okinawa in Asia, Europe, Korea, the Sinai Desert. Many of the graduates of this university have served with honor and distinction on such missions in such places. And so will you, as well as in places and for missions not yet on the morning news on television. You will be entrusted with the medical care of the citizens of this republic, in and out of uniform. You will be assigned to care for the citizens of other countries, especially to secure their public health. And you will grow up to lead the military, medical, and public health service organizations of our country. But how should you lead? Well, no surprise to you, I turn to history again. Back to World War II, and I wish to lay before you a simple rule. In a Royal Air Force cemetery in Belgium, there's a sentence on a headstone. Leadership is wisdom, courage, and a great carelessness of self. Knowledge and skills you have, you'll acquire more. Wisdom will come if these are tempered by the experience of failures and successes, and you will become more wise by examining your failures. Courage you have. You've already dedicated your lives to medicine and science and to the service of your country. But carelessness of self, now that requires some attention. Basically, it means always putting others before devotion to patients and to the mission, not to self. It is a matter of self, in part, a matter of ethics, in part, a matter of humility, in great part, a matter of faith, in part, a matter of self-examination and self-discipline, in part. It means a lifelong acceptance of responsibility without seeking self-advancement. And the ultimate, and for some of the graduates of this school, it has meant the sacrifice of self to save another's life, whether on a battlefield or a rescue mission, during an epidemic or studying dangerous diseases in a laboratory. It means spending precious time with your family to meet their requirements. It means setting aside time and attention and devotion, working for your obligations to society beyond your professional duties. It means, in a way, devotion to life in all its wonderful roundness and vitality. Now, there's a strategy for life. Let me suggest a tactic. James McNeill Whistler once said, there is no limit to what you can accomplish if you don't care who gets the credit for it. What does that mean? It means to lead by generosity of attribution, by sharing the pride of teamwork, by emphasizing the contributions of others, by enhancing rewards for your subordinates. In short, by great carelessness of self as a leader. Those of you who will be promoted and newly commissioned this day, or who are already in senior grades, you are the regulars. You in the military will serve at the divisions, the fleet, the wings. You in the public health service will serve our Native Americans, the Coast Guard, our underserved poor. You are the regulars. Peace or war, at home or abroad, you will command, you will lead, you will direct. And you will set the style and the pace of your corps. You are the cadre of your service. You are its future. You will join the more than 2,000 men and women who precede you as graduates of this university and who have set and maintained very high standards. Elected leaders, line officers, and public health officials alike now look to the graduates of this university as the models of what they had been seeking as medical and scientific professionals in the public service. Well, speaking on behalf of my colleagues on the faculty, we send you forth in your varied disciplines. We regret at seeing you leave home, but we're proud of having raised you, and we have an unreserved expectation that you will make us proud of you. Because we know that you will behave with honor, great carelessness of self, as you find wisdom and employ courage with character and virtue and integrity and uprightness and truth and candor and commitment. You have been on a journey that brought you to this day. The graduation ceremony is the ending of one journey. The commencement is the beginning of a new journey for the rest of your life in your new professions. God speed you on that journey, and may God's good fortune attend you as you go forward on your path to the future.
Well, Bob, I think the class of 1996 is telling you that they've received your message. And as a medical historian and scholar, I want to give you this token of our appreciation. It is the original version, not in the original language, although as a scholar like you, I know you could translate it, but it is the original version of the Oath of Hippocrates, and we give it to you that with our respect and our love.
Three recipients have been chosen to receive honorary degrees. Dr. Zimble will now present the awards.
Melvin R. Laird is Senior Counselor for National and International Affairs and a Director of the Reader's Digest Association. He formerly served as Secretary of Defense, Counselor to the President for Domestic Affairs, and he served 9 terms in the United States Congress, where he was Chairman, Republican House Minority, and a member of the Republican Coordinating Committee. Prior to these times, he was a member of the Wisconsin Senate from 1946 to 1952, Chairman Legislative Council, and served in the United States Navy. From the beginning, Mr. Laird was one of the first proponents and advocates for the creation of the Uniformed Services University of the Health Sciences. His vision and commitment to purpose was instrumental in the founding of our nation's only healthcare university, as well as the Henry M. Jackson Foundation for the Advancement of Military Medicine. We can think of no higher honor than to recognize him for his dedication, loyalty, and total support to this university and our great nation. Mr. Secretary, please come forward. Melvin R. Laird, in 1942, you unselfishly answered your nation's call for service. Since that time, your commitment to patriotism and concern for those who serve their nation has won you the undying respect of all Americans. Tens of thousands of soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines have benefited from your uncompromising commitment to excellence in military service and, in particular, military medicine. To provide the care to those who serve when called is sometimes more perilous in the legislative and executive branches of government than on the battlefield. You are a luminary of healthcare delivery and supporter of those who serve. Your vision has been tested and proven from the battlefields of Vietnam, Grenada, Lebanon, Panama, Haiti, Somalia, the Persian Gulf, and Bosnia, to the clinics and health centers that serve the American people. Your spirit and humanity, together with your legislative acumen, have left a legacy for this nation which is unmatched and truly enviable. Through your efforts, this university is now part of that legacy. Doctors, nurses, and scientists are now serving their nation because of your vision and commitment to purpose. Your nation's healthcare university takes great pride in therefore awarding you the degree of Doctor of Military Medical History, honoris causa. Dr. Francis D. Moore, Mosley Professor and Chairman of Surgery Emeritus at the Harvard Medical School, and formerly Surgeon-in-Chief of the Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston, is internationally acclaimed for his original, insightful contributions to better understanding of the biological responses to injury. Therapy derived from the research of Dr. Moore expanded with greater safety as it became increasingly based on the scientific concepts of pathological and physiologic mechanism. Dr. Moore has stimulated countless students and surgeons to undertake serious laboratory-based research while simultaneously pursuing clinical work. As one of the early members of the Board of Regents of the Uniformed Services University of Health Sciences, Dr. Franny Moore fostered the education of students who elected careers in military medicine. He has served enthusiastically and effectively. As a result, our nation's healthcare university's education mission has been greatly enhanced. Dr. Moore, let me now read you your citation. Dr. Francis D. Moore, you are a pillar of modern medicine. For more than half a century, your zeal, vision, and commitment to the highest ideals of excellence has irrevocably shaped the medical community. You have woven an intricate tapestry of medical innovation and scientific research with principles of service and commitment of purpose. You are a luminary who has brought us constantly through the ever-changing threshold of medical delivery. Today, healthcare providers serving our nation around the world do so as a direct result of your commitment to excellence and purpose. This university, which you played such a large part in nurturing, is now the academic capstone of the entire military medical system and a personal tribute to your medical vision. We are unique in our purpose and unique to have Francis Moore, a true medical beneficiary, as our mentor. Your university takes great pride in awarding you the degree of Doctor of Medicine, Military Medicine and Surgery, honoris causa. Dr. Michael E. DeBakey, Chancellor of Baylor University and past professor and chairman of the Department of Surgery, has become a legend in his time. An innovative cardiovascular surgeon, he has developed techniques, instruments, and materials that are used throughout the world for the practice and advancement of surgery. Appointed as consultant in surgery for the Surgeon General of the Army at the close of the Second World War, Dr. DeBakey remained on active duty to ensure that lessons learned from war experience would be preserved. He has served as a consultant to all presidents, regardless of party denomination, over the past half-century. His dedication and personal experience with military medicine were important components supporting the development of this medical school. As a charter member of the Visiting Board for the Department of Surgery, and as a long-term active consultant to the Walter Reed Army Medical Center, he has personally influenced the growth and development of numerous students and physicians. In recognition of his countless contributions to the Uniformed Services University of the Health Sciences, each year an International Military Surgeons Award is given in Dr. DeBakey's honor. Despite his many commitments throughout the world, Dr. DeBakey has always found the time to contribute to the military and to the USU mission. I'll now read your citations, sir. Michael E. DeBakey, physician, scholar, educator, and humanitarian, you have devoted your professional life to the care of the ill, the education of medical students and physicians, and to bettering the health care of the world. Your personal values, ideals, and ingenuity in the face of the unknown are an inspiration to your many patients, students, friends, and colleagues whose lives you have touched. You are the very embodiment of the ancient dictate that he who saves a single life saves the world entire. There can be no better mentor than one who lives that which he teaches. Your vision and medical innovation are at the very heart of what we seek to instill in our students. Dr. DeBakey, by example, you have shown that your love of country and fellow man, combined with a commitment to pioneering technology where the need exists, can improve the lives of many. Our job of aiding the healing process is immensely easier now due to your zeal. You have strengthened in no small way the cause of military medicine, surgery, this university, and our nation. Your university takes great pride in awarding you the degree of Doctor of Military Medicine and Surgery, honoris causa.
pleased at this time to introduce Dr. Faye Abdullah, Founding Dean, Graduate School of Nursing.
On behalf of the Graduate School of Nursing, I am honored to present the Graduate School of Nursing Outstanding Student Awards.
Please turn to page 2 in your program for the following awards. The Graduate School of Nursing Outstanding Student Award for the Nurse Anesthesia Program is presented to Major Stephen Swanigan, United States Air Force, Nurse Corps. Major Swanigan, please come forward. The Graduate School of Nursing Outstanding Student Award for the Family Nurse Practitioner Program is presented to Major Catherine Fuller, United States Air Force, Nurse Corps. Major Fuller, please come forward.
It is with pleasure that I introduce the Honorable Everett Alvarez, Jr., Chairman, Board of Regents, Uniformed Services, University of the Health Sciences. Mr. Alvarez will present the Outstanding Faculty Award.
The first Graduate School of Nursing Outstanding Faculty Award is presented to Dr. Patricia McMullen. Please, Dr. Mullen, please come forward.
I am pleased to introduce the President of the Graduate School of Nursing Class of 1996, Major Stephen Swanigan, United States Air Force, Nurse Corps. Major Swanigan will present the Graduate School of Nursing Class Farewell Address. Major Swanigan.
I must make a confession. My wife told me that when I got up here, should I be anxious to pretend that everyone in the audience was half dressed. So if I give you a strange look, you'll know why. Thank you, honey, I think. On a more serious note, members of the Board of Regents, President Zimble, Dean Hemming, Dean Abdullah, honored and distinguished guests, Surgeons General, Flag and General Officers, Federal Nursing Chiefs, my fellow classmates, and most importantly, family and friends. It is truly my honor to represent the Uniformed Services University of the Health Sciences, Graduate School of Nursing, graduating class of 1996 at today's ceremony. I feel it's an appropriate time to pay special tribute to the Federal Nursing Chiefs, the Department of Defense, and the Congress for their continued support and faith in turning the USU's Graduate School of Nursing vision into reality. Our nation faces a serious shortage of advanced practice nurses. Due to this national shortage, the Federal Nursing Chiefs of the Air Force, Navy, and Army recently concluded that without producing their own, the services would make little progress in meeting a serious shortfall that is growing more acute with time. While downsizing of active duty personnel in the Department of Defense may occur, the need for nurse practitioners and nurse anesthetists is not projected to be reduced for many years to come. Now I would like to tell you a story of 18 uniformed officers who came to this university as pioneers. These officers were the first class of nurse anesthetists and only the second class of family nurse practitioners to graduate from the newly formed Graduate School of Nursing, with a charter class having increased from 2 to 18 graduates. Never before had the medical and graduate schools seen so many captains and majors mixed amongst their students, taking classes alongside them. We quickly began to establish friendships and relationships with our medical and graduate student counterparts. Many curiosities arose. Questions were asked. How long is your program? What does a nurse practitioner do? What does a nurse anesthetist do? Why aren't you ensigns and second lieutenants like the rest of us? The medical students asked. Are you really faculty spies? We assured them we indeed were not spies, but rather we were an integral part of the healthcare team that they would work side by side with one day in their healthcare careers. We came to the Uniformed Services University of Health Sciences with a class average of 8 years of healthcare experience as registered nurses in our respective services. Many of us already held graduate degrees in health-related professions. The common thread that we all seemed to share was a strong desire to provide aid and healing to those in uniform and their families, to proudly represent our country as military officers and healthcare professionals. Having worked in clinics, on wards, in emergency rooms and intensive care units, on ships and planes, we came here with a sound knowledge of what it takes to make excellence in healthcare a reality. Teamwork. A combined effort from every member of the healthcare team is paramount. We must work together for one common goal: quality patient care. I know that I share the sentiment of all my fellow nurse anesthesia and nurse practitioner classmates when I say that I am proud to have been part of one of the finest universities in the country, an education that certainly speaks for itself. Now we are part of the alumni of the USU's family. We will be seen as a reflection of this university, and the university will be judged by our accomplishments. It is our turn to continue building the reputation of the Uniformed Services University of the Health Sciences as a quality institution that produces excellent scientists and healthcare professionals, notable not only for academic and technical expertise, but also for dedication to public service. We hope we have paved the way for many more advanced practice nurses to follow. To our family and friends, thank you for your patience and support. Finally, to my fellow classmates, graduates, congratulations and best wishes as we begin our new careers today. I'd like to leave you with 2 thoughts to help each of us remain focused in our own healthcare practice. Always strive to treat everyone the way you want yourself or your loved ones to be treated, with dignity and respect. And finally, to prevent taking our own health care for granted, remember, yesterday was the past, tomorrow is the future, and today is a gift. That's why we call it the present. Thank you.
At this time, will the Honorable Everett Alvarez, Ms. Gwendolyn Brown, Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense, and Dr. James A. Zimble come to the podium.
Mr. Alvarez, on behalf of the faculty of the Graduate School of Nursing, I recommend to you that the degree of Master of Science in Nursing be conferred on 18 individuals. Will the candidates please rise?
On behalf, by virtue of the authority vested in the university by the Congress of the United States and upon recommendation of the faculty and founding dean, Graduate School of Nursing, I hereby confer the degree of Master of Science in Nursing on you 18 individuals.
Captain Kevin Joseph Bohan. Captain William D. Bruning. Lieutenant Mark J. Martineau. Major Jeffrey W. Moore. Major Glenay Esther Palmer. Captain Rita Ann Phillips. Captain Maria Stanek. Major Stephen Edward Swanigan. Captain Patrick E. Burtz. Major Janet L. Bourne. Captain Melvin James Dewick. Captain Deborah K. Flagg. Major Catherine Ann Fuller. Major Betty S. Harris. Captain Michelle D. Levy. Major Harriet A. Quisenberry. Captain Patricia A. Smith. Captain Patrick George Spencer. We will now proceed to recognize the graduates of the F. Edward Hebert School of Medicine. It is my pleasure to introduce the Dean of the School of Medicine, Dr. Val Hemming.
It is with pleasure I present the Uniformed Services University of the Health Sciences Graduate Fellow Service Award to Dr. Catherine Wang from the Department of Anatomy. You'll note that the description of this award is found on page 3 of your program. Will Dr. Wang please come forward?
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Sheila Barber, Department of Microbiology and Immunology, will present the graduate student farewell address.
Distinguished guests and faculty, beloved family and friends, esteemed fellow graduates. I am both delighted and honored to speak on behalf of the graduates receiving their master's or doctor's of philosophy degrees at this ceremony. Although we are comparatively few in number, we provide a strong and vital link in the chain of scientific and medical professionals that USU sends forth today. Our years of study and research have earned us the degrees we receive today and signify our career-long commitment to becoming experts in our fields of basic and clinical medical sciences. Our courses of study at USU have promoted close association with the medical students. Not only have we sat side by side in the classroom as we first acquired a basic understanding of different scientific disciplines, but we have also interacted in teaching laboratories where we, as advanced graduate fellows, shared our more specialized knowledge with the next class of medical students. This essential interdependent relationship between scientist and practitioner will now extend and expand beyond the confines of USU as we all continue to work together, yet in different ways, to prevent, treat, and control disease worldwide. In reflection and summation of our time at USU, I would like to quote French physicist Marie Curie, twice a winner of the Nobel Prize, in her words, and I quote, "You cannot hope to build a better world without improving the individuals. To that end, each of us must work for his own improvement and at the same time share a general responsibility for all humanity," unquote. As new master's degree or doctors of philosophy recipients, we leave USU to continue our studies and take our places as teachers and researchers in the rapidly evolving biomedical community. On the brink of the 21st century, we are the next generation of pioneers in an era of unprecedented scientific and technological progress. The commencement today recognizes and celebrates the achievements of each graduate in the audience. However, we must not fail to acknowledge the outstanding contributions of all those before us, whose work has established the foundations upon which our scientific future relies. Most deserving of our sincerest appreciation and respect are the faculty members at USU, for certainly without their expertise and dedication, we would not be graduating here today. On that note, I would like to remember and honor Dr. Henry Wu, professor and chairman of the Department of Microbiology and Immunology, whose untimely death in February of this year due to cancer has left a personal and intellectual void in the faculty at USU. Henry's unique character and instincts in science and education epitomized the standard of excellence among the faculty at USU and provided an invaluable example for the students who were fortunate enough to have learned from him. Thank you, Henry. And thank you, family and friends, and the entire staff of Uniformed Services University of the Health Sciences for supporting this class of graduates. And to you, fellow graduates, represent USU well in your professional careers. Good luck and good health to you all. Thank you.
Mr. Alvarez, on behalf of the faculty of the graduate program and the Dean of the School of Medicine, I recommend to you that the degree Master of Public Health be conferred on 11 individuals. Will the candidates please rise?
By virtue of the authority vested in the university by the Congress of the United States and upon recommendation of the faculty and Dean, F. Edward Abier School of Medicine, I hereby confer the degree of Master of Public Health with its attendant privileges and responsibilities.
Captain Edward Briand. Commander James Campbell. Captain Linda Fuller. Lieutenant Commander Matthew Hall. Christina Harper. Lieutenant Colonel Yahail Hazut. Lieutenant Colonel Wayne Scherner. Dr. Linda Silvers. Lieutenant Joel Smithwick. Lieutenant Commander Ricky Snyder. Colonel Ernest Sutton. Mr. Alvarez, on behalf of the faculty of the graduate program and the Dean of the F. Edward Hebert School of Medicine, I recommend to you that the degree of Tropical Medicine and Hygiene be conferred on one individual. Will the candidate please rise?
By virtue of the authority vested in the university by the Congress of the United States and upon recommendation of the faculty and dean, F. Edward Hebert School of Medicine, I hereby confer the degree Master of Tropical Medicine and Hygiene with its attendant privileges and responsibilities.
Lieutenant Colonel Mary Gabriel. Mr. Alvarez, on behalf of the faculty of the graduate program and the Dean of the School of Medicine, I am pleased to recommend to you that the degree Doctor of Philosophy be conferred on 11 individuals. Will the candidates please rise?
By virtue of the authority vested in the university by the Congress of the United States and upon recommendation of the faculty and dean, F. Edward Hebert School of Medicine, I hereby confer the degree of Doctor of Philosophy and its attendant privileges and responsibilities.
Heidi Agostini, Department of Pathology. Sheila Barber, Department of Microbiology and Immunology. John Bishop, Department of Physiology. Lolita Burrell, Department of Medical and Clinical Psychology. Therapop Cherian Viriapop, Department of Preventive Medicine and Biometrics. Denise Hoffman, Department of Medical and Clinical Psychology. Jeanette Hosini, Department of Physiology. John Petrides, Department of Physiology. Catherine Wang, Department of Anatomy and Cell Biology. Major Alan Weir, Department of Biochemistry. Ling Yang, Department of Pharmacology. Ladies and gentlemen, may we have recognition of all of those receiving graduate degrees today. Ladies and gentlemen, we now move to that portion of the ceremony devoted to the graduates who will receive the degree of Doctor of Medicine. Eight of these graduates have won special recognition for their scholarship, professionalism, and public service. We will now present these awards. Descriptions of these awards begin on page 4 of your programs.
The Board of Regents Award is the highest honor a graduating senior can receive. Ensign Anthony Delgado, United States Naval Reserve, please come forward. The Society of Medical Consultants to the Armed Forces has established an award to be given annually to the class valedictorian. This year, the award was presented by Dr. James A. Zimble on behalf of Major General Benjamin R. Baker, United States Air Force Retired Medical Corps. The award goes to Second Lieutenant Mary Barnes, United States Army Reserve. Second Lieutenant Barnes, please come forward. The Association of Military Surgeons of the United States Award consists of a lifetime membership in the association, a plaque, and a monetary award. On behalf of the association this year, the award will be presented by Dr. Zimble to Second Lieutenant Peter Weina, United States Army Reserve.
It is now my pleasure to announce the presentation of the United States Army, Navy, Air Force, and Public Health Service Surgeons General Awards. The Uniformed Services University faculty have selected these students for recognition of their outstanding academic performance and the exemplary manner in which they demonstrated a commitment toward enhancing the goals of the uniformed service they represent. Representing the Surgeon General of the Army, Major General Ronald R. Blank, Commander, North Atlantic Health Service Support Area, and Commander Walter Reed, Army Medical Center, will present the Army Surgeon General's Award.
On behalf of the United States Army, it is my distinct pleasure to present the U.S. Army Surgeon General Award to Second Lieutenant Benjamin Cable, United States Army Reserve.
Representing the Surgeon General of the United States Navy, Rear Admiral John Isol, Medical Corps, United States Navy, Physician to Congress, will present the next award.
It is my pleasure, on behalf of the United States Navy, to present the Navy Surgeon General's Award to Ensign David Michael Dromsky, Medical Corps, USNR.
Lieutenant General Edgar R. Anderson, Jr., United States Air Force Medical Corps, Surgeon General of the Air Force, will present the next award.
It's my great pleasure to present this award on behalf of the United States Air Force to Captain Vinod Gidvani Diaz, United States Air Force Medical Corps.
Rear Admiral Audrey F. Manley, Acting Surgeon General of the United States Public Health Service, will present the next award.
On behalf of the United States Public Health Service, it is my pleasure to present the Surgeon General's Award to Ensign John M. Bolentano.
Mr. Alvarez will now present the William P. Clements, Jr. Award and the Outstanding Civilian Educator Award. These two awardees were chosen by the graduating medical students. The William P. Clements, Jr. Award is presented to Lieutenant Colonel Gregory Toussaint, Medical Corps, United States Air Force. Lieutenant Colonel Toussaint, please come forward. The Outstanding Civilian Educator Award is presented to Dr. Robert John Thomas Joy. Dr. Joy, please come forward. The Esprit de Corps Award recipient is selected annually by members of the graduating class to recognize one of their own. The individual selected is not listed in your program because the class, by tradition, keeps it secret until this moment. This award is presented by Dr. Richard McDonald, Associate Dean for Student Affairs, and by Colonel Donald Steinweg, Assistant Dean for Clinical Sciences.
The class of 1996 selects Second Lieutenant Mary Barnes.
It's now my pleasure to introduce the president of the medical class of 1996. As his last official act as class president, Second Lieutenant Romney Anderson, United States Army Reserve, will present the medical class farewell address.
Goodbye. Yesterday I did that at rehearsal, and George Garcia said he would give me $100 if I did it again today. Since our class fund was short about $100, I figured that was an easy way to remedy the situation. George, you can write the check and give it to Don Crane later, thanks. I have no words of wisdom to impart on you today, but for our family and friends, I'd like to spend a minute to tell you what I think distinguishes our medical school from others. When I came to USUS in 1992, I was told that it was different from other medical schools, but I really had no specifics to support that. After spending a short amount of time here, I started to realize and appreciate the particulars which makes this school special. The week we in process to the university, we were given the Hippocratic Oath. I found that to be unusual, considering I had not even attended a medical class yet, and that my medical knowledge was somewhere around applying a Band-Aid and offering aspirin for a headache. However, this was symbolic for how we were to be treated as students here at USUS. From the first day of class in human context, we were made to feel as though our input was important, and that students were an integral part of the learning process. This was reinforced through the rest of our classroom time by course directors who took our feedback on better ways to instruct courses and teach us medicine. This level of student involvement even extended to the highest levels when student input was given to the selection of our new dean. Coming to USUS is also unique in the fact that it is the only military medical school in the country. We all have the common goal of learning to support and care for the deployed soldier, sailor, and airman. Many of the routine medical classes we take, such as physiology, microbiology, pharmacology, and others, incorporate military-relevant material into the course content to help us meet the unique mission of supporting the deployed serviceman or woman. Along with the standard medical courses, we also take many special courses that deal with providing medical care in an austere environment, such as worldwide deployments and combat. Finally, when other medical students graduate, they disperse through a vast array of graduate medical training programs throughout the country. Here at USUS, most of us will attend a military residency. The military community is small, and many of us will continue to work together. It is imperative that collectively we have a strong student body, because we will depend upon each other in the future. I think this is the reason we have such a cohesive and tight-knit class. I have heard horror stories from friends at other medical schools about the level of competition between students. I did not witness that here at USUS. I was amazed to find that if I had any academic difficulties, there was a multitude of students who were willing to help me, even at the expense of their own study time. This attitude was not limited within our class. The classes before us were interested in our education because next year we will be their interns while they are chief residents. We are also interested in the classes behind us because they will be our third and fourth year medical students next year. It is this type of team building that sets USUS apart from other medical schools and makes us special. And speaking of special, on behalf of all my classmates, I want to thank not only the university family, but our own family and friends who are here today to witness this momentous event in our lives. Your support and encouragement has meant a lot to us, and we could not have made it without you. As students and future physicians, we have been given a great deal of trust and responsibility. I guarantee we will return this with service to our country. The class of 1996 will leave here later today as physicians with wonderful memories, strong friendships, and a deep commitment to serve our nation. Thank you.
Mr. Alvarez, on behalf of the faculty and the Dean of the F. Edward Hebert School of Medicine, I'm pleased to recommend to you that the degree of Doctor of Medicine be conferred on the 156 members of the 1996 graduating class. Will the candidates please rise?
By virtue of the authority vested in the university by the Congress of the United States, and upon the recommendation of the faculty and dean, F. Edward Aber School of Medicine, I hereby confer the degree of Doctor of Medicine with its attendant privileges and responsibilities.
On behalf of the faculty of the F. Edward Aber School of Medicine, I proudly present the graduates of the class of 1996. Bradley Abels. Per Christian Amundsen. Romney Christian Anderson. Erin Louise Balden. John M. Valentona. Mary Jude Barnes. John Adrian Bojesco. Jonathan Briggs. Benjamin B. Cable. Alisa Christine Carrizales. Scott Christopher Carrizales. Matthew B. Carroll. James Alfred Cavaness, Jr. Christine Marie Choi. Yan Yu Choi. Brian Lee Christensen. Tony S. Clinton. Jim Cooper. Craig. Donald Scott Crane. Kara L. Chrisman. William Paul Crum. Louis Allen Dainty. Pierre Allen Doby. Alan Wayne Davis. Kimberly D. Davis. Anthony E. Delgado. Alan Karim Danji. Kevin A. Dorrance. David Michael Drumsky. Thomas Edward Dykes. John T. Eanes II. John Allen Edwards. Carl C. Ireland. Heidi Mintz Erickson. Stephen J. Escobar. Manella Fernandez. Mark Fowler. Jason Albert Friedman. Chris Foltz Gainey. George Daniel Garcia. Daniel George Gates. James J. George II. Vinod Gidwane Diaz. Stephen Aaron Gill. Paul Douglas Gleason II. George Raymond Goodwin, Jr. Jeffrey Garland Grammer. Maria Lisa Grappillon. Sherette Kristen Gray. Patrick Mark Grogan. Keith Anthony Hanley. Terrence Heath. Michael Adam Helwig. Mark E. Herrera. Reed D. Holtzclaw. Suzanne Lee Holtzclaw. David Carl Houghton. Daniel Ping Shi. Duncan G. Hughes. Priscilla Hune. John Forrest James. Pamela D. Johnson. Shannon Elisa Kane. Sean Kelly. Gregory A. Kennebeck. Chetan Apan Karod. Janet Francis Kim. Todd Toshio Kobayashi. Mark Andrew Kobelia. Bernard Kopczynski. Russ Coatwall. David T. Kramer. Christopher Landes. Dari Ann Lane. Donald J. Lane. Raymond J. Laganza. Henry Lynn. James David Lowe. Thomas Charles Luke. C. Beckett Menke. Richard Glade Malish. Kevin Ellery Mann. James Stewart McClellan, Jr. John McCurley. Patrick McEldrew. Marguerite Mary McWiggin. Evan R. Meeks. Mark Edward Mashad. Erica Kitchell Miller. Kurt Andrew Misko. John Christopher Mose. Kimberly Mose. Janice Lynn Mosley. Dan S. Mosley. Laura Beth Moylan. Cabot Murdoch. Clinton K. Murray. Angela Gowdy Maslevich. Vincent Maslevich. Jeffrey George Nalesnik. Sally Wonderly Nalesnik. Douglas Nelson. Rochelle Nolte. Elizabeth Norris. Tim O'Hara. D. Troy Osborne. Chris George Pappas. Robert Greg Patterson. Christopher Peter Paulson. Barack Pariah. Kenny Peterson. Tracy Ford Patrides. James Arthur Phelan. Sean Eric Phelps. Ralph Harding Picard III. Emmerich D. Piedad. Kimberly Diane Pietzak. Aaron Christopher Pitney. Joseph Arthur Pokriva. Thomas Lee Holton. Michael William Quinn. Anna Maximin Raffanan. John C. Rayfield. Mark Thomas Reed. Bryn Joy Hayes Reyna. David Michael Rogers. Stuart A. Root. Alex Rosen. Sarah Lauren Saltstein. Sanford. Samuel Wade Sauer. Andrew William Schimmel. Michael Joseph Sebesta. Kathleen Marie Shantz. Stephen T. Sheedlow. Mark Allen Scheffler. Daniel Abram Shore. Craig Spencer. Michael S. Sullivan. Edward J. Swanton. Adrian Talbot. Sally Jean Tamayo. Joel Travis Tanaka. Kenneth F. Taylor, Jr. Robert E. Thaxton. Gregory T. Thayer. James Joseph Thomas. Daniel R. Tuckey. Michael Anthony Weber. Peter J. Weina. Johann Sebastian Westfall. Christopher Westrop. William Mickey White. Charles Page Wood. Mark Allen Yaspa.
As the last medical degree recipients left the stage, the Uniformed Services University of the Health Sciences, F. Edward Hebert School of Medicine had graduated 2,304 medical officers to join the ranks of the United States Army, Navy, Air Force, and United States Public Health Service. Additionally, 416 basic science degrees, including Master's and Doctor of Philosophy, have been conferred. "20 Masters of Science in Nursing degrees have been conferred in our new Graduate School of Nursing.
Members of the class of 1996, you swore the oath of Hippocrates as you entered this medical school 4 years ago. It has guided your conduct as students of medicine. Please stand. Raise your right hand and swear it again so you may guide your practice as physicians. Please repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that I will be loyal to the profession of medicine and just and generous to its members, that I will lead my life and practice my art in uprightness and honor, that into whatsoever home I shall enter, it shall be for the good of the sick and the well, to the utmost of my power, and I will hold myself aloof from wrong and from corruption and from the tempting of others to vice, that I will exercise my art solely for the cure of my patients and the prevention of disease, and will give no drugs and perform no operation for a criminal purpose, and far less suggest such thing, that whatsoever I shall see or hear of the lives of men which is not fitting to be spoken, I will keep secret. These I do promise, and in proportion as I am faithful to this oath, may happiness and good repute be ever mine. The opposite, if I shall be forsworn. You may be seated.
Ladies and gentlemen, having received their doctoral degrees, these 156 members of the Uniformed Services University, class of 1996, have turned in their academic robes and now wear their service uniforms to take their oaths as commissioned officers. The Surgeons General or their representatives will now commission the graduates in their respective branch of service.
Army graduates, please stand. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, state your name, do solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and that I bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter. So help me God. Army graduates, hooah! All right, please be seated.
United States Navy graduates, please stand up. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter. So help me God. Bravo.
Air Force officers, please stand. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Having been appointed a captain, United States Air Force Medical Corps, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter. So help me God. Congratulations, I'm really proud of you, and welcome to the medical service of the world's greatest Air Force.
Will the United States Public Health Service graduates please stand? Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Accept such appointment and do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to same, that I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter. So help me God. Congratulations and welcome to the Public Health Service.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the benediction and remain standing for the alma mater.
We have a charge to keep. We have a God to glorify. We have a Uniformed Services University legacy to embrace. We have a rich tradition of caring to build upon. We have a privilege to serve. Let us receive the benediction. May the God of our understanding, who far exceeds our expectations, empower us, encourage us, and embolden us to go forth and make a positive difference right where we find ourselves. Amen.
Please join the Uniformed Services University of the Health Sciences group, choral group, the Dermatones, in singing the school's alma mater. The lyrics can be found on page 8 of your program.
Virtue and compassion towards all men, as we serve the sons and daughters sworn our country to defend. Guide us as we go forth from thee, serving on our land and sea, as we staunch the wounds of freedom and serve public health in peace. Let thy motto be engraven in our hearts and in our minds, while devoting self to others, working for our nation's crimes.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the 1996 commencement ceremony. Please remain standing until the recessional is completed. Thank you. Faculty marshals, please lead the recessional.